Right, that's the technical issues sorted. Shall we actually do this? Right, let's do this. That looks a little bit bleached out, but I'm going with it. Hello, folks, it is 13 minutes past 9 on the 14th of May, and we are still in isolation. How you doing, folks? It has been a long day. Long day. Lots of meetings today. A lot of work today, to be perfectly honest. A really productive day, but Mel's knackered. And then as I came in, guess what? Decided to do an update. So I just like, right, step back. Don't even try and click anything. Let it do its update. Yeah, let it settle down instead of complicating it while I did. And let's do this. So here we are. Now I see people are watching. Of course people are watching. Yeah, we are going to be doing some terrain. I need to drag out my, my other cam. Yeah, because it's just round the corner. Let's pop out the chat. Hadn't done this before because it was all updating, and I literally jumped live as soon as it was stable. If we get a little bit flickery and some frame jumps, just let me know, folks. But I'm expecting to come through loud and clear. I see some hell yes. Link for the terrain question. Don't need a link for the terrain question. If you've got a terrain question, just put a couple of question marks in front of it, post it in the chat, and we can look at it. Right, I need to get out my other camera. Oh! Right, there's my other camera. Like this. How are you, Mel? I'm very well, mate. Like I say, a bit knackered, long day. I'm feeling much better. I was a little bit rough yesterday. Still got a couple of little burps, but I don't think we're going to be too bad. I've been a little bit off my food, to be truthful. I'm doing that dry food thing. You know what I mean? Nothing spicy. Keep everything bland. Oh dear, crash bang wallop. Not at all. It's just how we roll. Flock for the flock guard, terrain for the terrain throne. Sounds like a plan to me. Right. So, busy, just touching up a few things. On the book, was in the studio, but I also had some studio meetings. There's a lot going on in the studios, and as artists there, we're sort of tied into the community, if you know what I mean. I don't just let a studio in the building. Yeah, I'm part of a charitable organisation. Now, this is how Akava gets all its charity rates and that sort of stuff. The people I rent my studio off. Yeah, they're not landlords. They're community creators of artists who enrich the local environment. So my tenancy agreement, yeah, is more of a membership, yeah, than a tenancy. Yeah, in fact, even if I give up the studios, which is a bonus of membership, I'm still a member of Akava. Yeah, so if I walk away from Akava Studios, I'm still a member of Akava. Now, as part of that, getting the studios and getting them subsidised and that sort of stuff because of Akava's charity status, yeah, one of the things that means is that I have to, sort of commit, yeah, to engaging and help with Akava's charity, commitments. And Akava stands for Advancement of Cultural Arts, Advancement of Culture and Art. I don't know. I used to know that. Hey, oh, Gaz. Sounds dodgy. No, it isn't dodgy at all. Actually, it was started off by a group of small artists way back, I think, in the 60s. Yeah, as a way of just getting themselves some studio space. And they basically grew this, sort of artisty thing, and they grew it into a charity. And I think they've got 50 buildings with over 800 studios. across the country. I know they've got one in Germany. Yeah, most of them are in London. Yeah, I think we're one of the most. Stoke is sort of out of the in the reaches for them, and it's not like their normal studios. Yeah, they typically aim at high art, and they have certain standards of what you have to do to be able to get studio space. And they dropped the standards for Spode, which is how I snuck in. And now, now I've got 140,000 subscribers, and Akava can take that number when they go to the charity commissions and go, look what this member does. He shares all these terrain tutorials with all these people digitally. Look how he enriches the culture, and we've helped him get there. Now, I'm an artist, according to Akava. So started by hippies. Yeah, I've met them. I actually know the two founding directors, and they're lovely, Ben and Duncan. Yeah, one's a fine artist, and Duncan is an architect. Yeah, and so between them, Duncan handles the property side. No, sorry, Duncan's actually just stepped down because I think he's in his he's coming up to his 70s. Lovely guy. Yeah, I forgot the other guy's name now. I haven't spoke to him in over a year. I've been that busy and all over the place. Take me to your art dealer. We've got a few art dealers in Spode. Hey, James, Joe. Association for the Cultural Advancement Through Visual Art. That's them. So anyway, now part of the actual sort of enriching the community stuff, what we do is a couple of times a year, we have studio open days and we invite people in. But on top of that, we're encouraged to sort of come together as artists, in the studios and come up with our own things that Akava support and that sort of stuff. And so we've been going through that and that sort of process, and working on a few things. So it's been a long day. Yeah, just rolls off the tongue. That's why we prefer Akava. Yeah, it was also very nice to properly clean up my studio after the river build. When you pour resins and all that sort of stuff, you can't clean. And to be truthful, over the past month or so, my studio had become devastated. But buildings, foam board. And I'm actually really looking forward to this section. Really looking forward to it. The rivers were challenging, and I think part of the problem with the rivers is anyone who works with resin knows, it either works or yes. Well, there's a few things you can patch, but if things go wrong, you're in deep, and all the work that you put in before goes out the window. Now, with the rivers, all the work that went in before was cork bark, which included creating 14 foot of riverbank, made out of individual slivers of cork bark that were placed and shaped and picked specifically. 14, that's longer than this room is wide. So, when we got to the resin stage, clearly, and I'll be honest with you, I did put the stage off for a few days and sort of procrastinated, come up with excuses, because it, you know what I mean? But ultimately, with all these things, you've got to do them, and it was a case of kicking myself up the butt. Right, Mel, go in, do your pour. Do not leave the studio till you've done your pour. And it's one of those things where I prepared everything. Everything was ready. You know what I mean? And then it's like, I'm not going in the studio tomorrow because just got to do this, and I've got to get the kids, and you know what I mean? But turned out fine. It works or it stays sticky forever. There's that issue, but also you've got issues of leakage. When you're working with large areas with resin, if your surface isn't completely flat, you get banking, which causes real problems with modularization. Right. Looking to add some small bamboo shoots to a diorama base in Japanese garden setting. Struggling to find anything suitable as they're more like a bush than bamboo poles we generally see. And yeah, what's up? Bamboo is, I think it's a grass, yeah, or shrub. And I know what you call it that. It starts off as a bush, and then the shoots grow up as the bush forms, you know, its root structure that can support. I think it's I'm not sure if it is the fastest growing, but it's definitely one of the fastest growing. And I actually love looking at the photos of Japanese bamboo forests. When you see bamboo that's really aged, you know, and become a forest, because you get to this situation where it's all a common root structure. So the roots developed so much that there's no real earth on them. Yeah, well, it depends. Depends on the environment and the amount of moisture and that sort of stuff. But there's some beautiful photos, yeah, where it looks almost Geigerish, yeah, with the alien tentacles running through a landscape. And obviously, the Japanese, I mean, if the Japanese know how to do anything, it's to create a beautiful, serene, is it serene? Yeah, scene, you know what I mean? I look, I'm not heavily into Japanese culture, yeah, but the way they landscape, and I'm not really into Japanese buildings or pagodas or anything like that. I find them quite garish, yeah, but the way they do their gardens, yeah, is absolutely beautiful. And in the forest, it's beautiful. What you want for the shrubs is I would go for a substructure, and I get some wire wall or some wire wall or some polyfiber. The bushes are very dark leaves, yeah. So you're going to need a dark drab green for it, yeah. And either spray it or soak. Pardon me, still got a bit of the bird. Soak it, that sort of stuff, and that would definitely do. But what I would definitely look at doing is a few thin wisps of wire, yeah, and put a couple of little simulating little leaves on them, maybe cut them out of card, that sort of stuff, just to get a few shoots, because I think that if you do it the bush, it's just going to look like the bush. The bamboo sort of bushes, you need the shoots starting to grow, can't you? Right. Might brush bristles work? Yeah, they could certainly work. And of course, you can stain them. If you're using hog hair, you can get those well stained in a nice colour as well first. Banking was that, Mel? It was banking. I did say banking, didn't I? Bamboo is tricky. Some green florist wire? Yes, most definitely. Look at some brooms. You can often trim them like bamboo. Yeah. I pick up bamboo shoots from eBay. Yeah, I've got a couple of bags of those. It's the mold lines on those that are a pain in the backside. Bamboo's fastest growing. Right. I thought it was, but I didn't want to quote it as a, you know what I mean? Right, so moving on from what you call it. I need to create some bin bags for a project. Any tips? There's a video on it in the Let's Make playlist. But basically, get a pebble, get a bit of bin bag, yeah, fold it all up, twist it round, either put a knot in it or tie a little bit of string around it, a little bit of super glue, yeah, just a tiny bit around the string or just inside before you twist it, just to hold it together. Bang. Now, when you pick your rocks, what I generally do is I like pebbles. Okay, because generally with a pebble you will have a flat surface, okay, and then roughly a round weird shape. Okay, so one side of the pebble is, or you can generally sit it down, and especially, yeah, what you've got to remember is I get a lot of my aggregates from sieving mixed ballast, and you get a lot of pebbles and half pebbles in those, so this is what I use those bits for. Okay, but yeah, pebbles are great because they're roughly round, so they've got no real sharp bits that are going to poke out and pop the actual plastic, yeah, of the plastic bag. And generally they'll have a flat bit on them somewhere that'll sit properly, you know. Yeah, did you do bin bags and skips? Did I do a skip? No, I didn't. I did bin bags, a supersized pallet, and cardboard boxes. Made out of cardboard boxes. Then again, it's cardboard boxes small, innit? I mean, you're not really going to make them out of plastic, are you? I mean, you can make them out of cardboard. The top has spiky leaves. Cut some slivers. Cat saying, so very busy. Years ago, a friend gave me a plaque that said, if you want something done, give it to a busy person. I'm living that now. I know that one. I do know that one. Life has been, obviously, what you call it, you know, Mel had a lot of ill health at the start of the year. Okay, and, you know, obviously better, much better. Energy level still, you know, a little low, what you call it, still getting there, but, you know, it's a long process. And the thing is, I'm not getting better, what you call it, to what I was at Christmas. What I'm trying to do is get generally a lot more healthier and that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? Over the stress of the book and, you know, over the past few years, you know, health has taken a decline. And so Mel's sort of well on the way, but I've still got a way to go on the health side. Yeah. But I've lost my track then. Oh, but clearly, what you call it, a lot of life stuff got put to the side, and so I've been really busy sorting a lot of stuff out. Yeah, so when the bars open, Terry, you come on this show every time, yeah, and ask about the bars being open. Mate, they're the last thing that have been open. So when everything else has opened, yeah, once everything else has opened, you'll see the bars open. Until then, don't even bother asking, mate. Because it ain't going to happen. Till everything else opens, they'll be the last. Dan's found the video. My upstairs health is struggling with the lockdown. A newborn and a 6-year-old. Yeah. It is tough, guys. You know what I mean? But we've just got to soldier on with this. I mean, could be a hell of a lot worse. Yeah, so just be grateful for what you've got and try and what you call it. You know, just try and let's get through this. Make the best of it and come out of it with hopefully something better. I mean, pandemic-wise, I don't even know. I haven't even looked at the news recently. We had that garbled message from Bojo, and now no one knows what we're supposed to do. I think Karen's got a better idea than I have. Mel, what do you recommend for Sahara-like desert board making? My Kill Team boarders postponed due to lack of ideas, inspiration. Sahara, I would imagine, would be a very light sander. You'd have to sculpt it. So foam work or gloops, shape it, and then probably it's covering it in chinchilla dust, mate. Cat saying, I live under the thought of to get something done, you only need a plan and too little time. Reason being, you don't have time to think about not having enough time. I find plans are fluid in my life. Yeah. My life is like a combat situation. I wake up in the morning with one plan. Yeah. I make contact with the world, the enemy. Yeah. After we've had a few like battles, I've got a new plan. And generally by the end of the day, I'm winning. Yeah. Sometimes I lose. I've never been completely beaten yet. I've had a good kicking by life. Yeah. But, you know, no retreat, no surrender. Never give up, never surrender. Oatcakes, bacon and cheese for the win. That's healthy, right? Yeah. In balance. James say, what's right? Joe's looking forward to hobby shops opening. Obviously, it will be a long time till we get some games in, but my supplies are drying up. I think they will start. I think they're reaching out and looking at. I think ultimately they're looking at the key things that people are screaming for, and once they're done, what they'll start is filtering the little things. A bit like they shut down everything and then realised bargain booze was an essential. You know what I mean? Yeah, it'll be like, right, hobbies. We need to keep people busy. Yeah, and they'll pick up this vibe. You know what I mean? So I'm not overly worried on that count. Yeah, I'm going low on a few things. Yeah, but luckily I'm well stocked. John's saying it's a shame for all those workers that will lose their jobs when any of the business close, whether we think it's a good or evil company. To be truthful, we've had a lot of recessions, we've had a lot of business closes, and it's always bad. And people are losing their jobs all the time. The fact that this is such a massive hit is a massive hit. But we've got to look at it, you know what I mean? And we've just got to deal with it. Yeah, there will be new companies, there will be new startups. You know, we will get back on our feet. It's not going to be easy, guys. You know what I mean? It's not. Nothing right is. We'll do it. Later and say. What do not kills you makes you stronger? Martin's saying the common thing, no plan survive first contact with the enemy. Totally agree. It's all about the QBOs. I find it's a good method to treat life. Yeah. I'm not saying like I duck and cover when actually there have been times when I've duck and covered when I've gone out my front door. But where I live. Yeah. But yeah, I do like that idea of, right, on your feet, you know what I mean? Let's look what we can do. Let's look what we can achieve. Yeah. I've just found that life, if you tell life your plan, it will laugh at you. Mal, I'm starting a cathedral centerpiece for a long-term 40k city fight terrain tips. Any tips on stained glass windows and interiors? Right, okay. Stained glass windows. Yeah, we'll go through the usual ones. Obviously, transparent plastic foils and plastics. Sweet wrappers from Quality Street. You can get acetate sheets and you can get printer ink that can print on them, so you can print your own stained glass windows and cut them out of acetate sheets. You can buy stained glass windows. Yeah, when fixing them, I always recommend you use PVA. Yeah, other glues can have a frosting effect and ruin the effect, but that's where you're going to start with your stained glass. You can run from there. For the meshing and that sort of stuff, granny grating, exhaust repair mesh, they're easy options, but there's a lot of mesh type materials out if you want to do that. Alternative, black marker pen. Yeah, you can do that. Interiors, pews, pillars, that sort of stuff. What you want to do is don't build them all. It's going to be a ruin. So just kit bash and really smash out a few, yeah? Then break them up and then get in and combine them in your rubble, okay? That way you can have like a rubbly surface inside, which is actually, level enough that you can place models and it's usable, but you can have bits of the pews and that sort of stuff sticking out, so it maintains the idea of you inside a cathedral. Now the other one is obviously the columns and supports, and what you think is, I want big columns. Yeah, but big columns are going to get in the way of your hands and that sort of stuff, so actually you want them sort of lower, yeah, and fallen, so you can move around inside. It's already going to be difficult playing inside the actual cathedral. Okay, no matter how big you build your walls. Yeah, what you don't want to do is complicate that too much. Okay? And I think that's enough to get you started, buddy. Good luck with the build. Make sure you post pictures on the Terrainiacs. South Africa even locked down e-commerce. Even from open businesses, you get survival bathing like a printer, but not printer's ink. That's it. But have some talc powder. Can it be dyed for sand making? Thinking ink, water, and ISO mix. I've no idea. Give it a go and let me know. I'd like to know that. Paul, that one's on you. Report back with that one, buddy. Shifting Sands do some good acetate pre-printed sheets for stained glass windows. Crawley's in. Hello, buddy. Long time. I found out how antisocial I am because the lockdown hasn't affected my social interactions. In fact, I'm really enjoying being able to work from home and not have to go into the office. Do you know, for me, normally I would, yeah, but the lockdown came just as I was getting back in good health and I was ready to get out into the world. And then I was locked down. So actually, it sort of annoyed me. I've got enough little flexibility now with going to the studio and that sort of stuff that, okay, yeah, I can deal with it. But I am missing going out and connecting with people. I really want to do that. Yeah, and I want to get the gaming club started here. I think after lockdown, a lot of people are going to be turning around and saying, why do I have to come into the office? Do you know what I mean? And I don't think they're going to demand that, that, oh, right, we don't have offices anymore. Yeah, but I think in the cases of emergencies, family emergencies, sick days, things like that, I think there's going to be a lot better standing. You know, I've got my kids are off school sick, I'll work from home. And, you know, you're going to still have to pay me because I'm still doing my job. So I think, you know, I think there's something there. James is saying, Mel, do you know anywhere I can pick up circles of MDF in various sizes? Oh, any one of the MDF makers, mate. The terrain makers, bases. 3mm, 6mm, warbases.co.uk. They've got tons in various hexagons and rectangles and triangles in various sizes and thicknesses. Mel, build a swing seat for the garden. I'm actually building strawberry boxes. Right, there's loads. I got wooden scenics rock molds today, so we'll be posting up my two CD scan terrain as progress. Can't wait to see the results. Have a good one, stubby son. Okay, cool. Mel, can you point me in the direction for more inspiration to make Bag End? Yeah, obviously devouring movies again just now. Yeah, me and Corbin are on a bit of that one as well. Inspiration for Bag End. Now, if you want general inspiration, yeah, they said Token basically based Bag End on the Shire, yeah, on Shropshire, which we used to live in Shropshire. And I can certainly see it. So, I would certainly have a look around have a look, do a search for Shropshire scenics, beauty spots, and go and have a look at the photos of those to get the general feel of the land, perhaps not the landscape, yeah, but the vegetation. Yeah, what sort of plants grow? You know, what's the grass like? And I think that will give you, you know, and for what I saw in the films, yeah, the place in New Zealand, how they did it, almost, yeah. I think for me, the failing of the Shire in the in Lord of the Rings, Bag End, yeah, was I didn't see woods. Do you know what I mean? And that just, and I think that's the location in New Zealand. You know, perhaps wherever they were shooting it, they didn't have native English trees. Perhaps they had pines or something that would have spoiled the look or whatever. Yeah, but I didn't see woods or trees around. There were certainly some shots, yeah, that involved what were very Shropshire-like lanes. Yeah, and actually I'm quite curious about those now. But the actual creating of Bag End didn't have those trees. Right. I think we're all going to start looking at that again, aren't we? Cat saying, Grawley's Lair. One thing I've come to realise is how many toxic things and folks I had let into my life. Gone now and feel invigorated and so content. Yeah, I know that one. B&Q, MDF Carpenter's biscuits, all make good bases, all come in sizes and shapes. Yeah. Beard Clipper was doing a Shire build on his YouTube channel. I want to do one at some point. You can stay in a version of Bag End. I have seen that. The Shire is located in Matamat. There are still sets which tourists use and visit. I use one of Mel's hill videos instead of a rock face to make a house, and instead of a rock face, make a house wall. Yeah, that's cool. I'm sure there were woods in the books. There were. A lot of the talk was about woods and stuff like that. Which is understandable if you've been to Shropshire. John's saying we don't have English trees in New Zealand. We have other trees and loads of pine forests. So where was the scene, yeah, where Frodo met Gandalf coming into Bag End on the lane? Because I damn remember that looking like a Shropshire country lane with, you know, English. I'm sure they were oak. I mean, I'm trying to remember now, and you know what I mean? But me and Corb have got that up. We're one into Watch the Hobbit at the minute. 2 more to go, and then I'm going to check that one out. Mel, what's your favourite biscuit? I'll let everyone else reply. Wasn't the Shire surrounded by woods? Quite hidden that way? Yes. Yeah, it was. I remember that. The mushroom scene was great in the woods. Were they CGI oak trees? Do you know what? Normally, yeah, I'm really good at spotting CGI. Yeah, even good CGI. And I think it's because I spend so much time telling people how to make things look natural and avoid the things that make them look obviously false, that I'm just naturally good at looking at things that way. And I can spot CGI a mile away. Yeah. And I don't remember, I remember getting an authentic feel. The whole set is located outside of Hamilton. It's amazing what you can do with CGI. I've got to re-look at that. Mel, this can't be his first time watching it. No, it isn't. He's watched it when he was younger, but he's watching it with older eyes. We like a good break so we can reappreciate films. So we have this. Right, have you seen it in the last 3-4 years? Yeah, right, let's skip that then. Because both me and Corbin do this thing that if we've seen a film, as soon as we start, I mean, clearly, you know, I'm recalling scenes from a film I haven't seen in donkey's ages. Yeah. We remember the film, so we have to leave it a good long time. Willow's not old enough to have reached that point yet, but I imagine she's going to be the same. He should read all the books before watching it again. I'm going to let him read the books afterwards. Thanks, Sam. My brew is cold. Right. And they cut out Fangorn Woods and Tom Bombadil. I love Tom Bombadil. I think he's a great character. Mel. Think about Token. Do you have any updates on Jez? Is he still in Facebook jail? I believe he is. I haven't been going on Facebook recently. I've been giving it an avoidance. To be truthful, there's too much drama on there and too many. Oh, I want this, I'm upset about this. Who's doing this? Let her lying. Step back. Good luck, Joe. Evening, Odin. Jackson butchered his way through Lord of the Rings to make his films. Missing scenes, misplaced characters, many errors. We can talk about The Hobbit and a dwarf falling in love with an elf. Does anyone remember that from the book? Because I don't. I mean, it was a long time ago when I last read the books. But I don't remember anything between a dwarf and an elf in the book. Now, am I wrong? Nice, boy. I do not remember that either. No. Also, dwarves with bows and arrow and a slingshot. An elf with her looks gets my vote. I'm not arguing with you, Martin, but I'm just saying I don't remember a dwarf and an elf getting jiggy with it. I know they didn't get jiggy with it, but that was a big love scene. You missed a lot of nice builds on the Terrainiacs Facebook, Mel. There's always nice builds on the Terrainiacs group, guys. John's saying there was no elf chick in the book. I thought so. And you see, I can understand cutting out scenes, you know what I mean? Yeah, to tell the longer story. Yeah, I can, and you know, you get gutted if characters and scenes get cut out, but it is about the longer story. But to cut scenes out and then make something up and put it in, yeah. Groy's saying his eldest is studying digital FX at uni. His final year. Nice. Bloody good stuff he produces. Some of the stuff is amazing. I saw a bit behind the scenes where it said just because it wasn't in the books doesn't mean it couldn't have been going on off the page. Yeah, but that's basically saying I don't even know how to phrase that. Oh, that's a wonderful story, but we're going to change it completely because you don't know what was happening elsewhere in the story off the page. And we want to change it. Right, fine, change it. That's fine. Just be honest, your film's a fanfic. Really? Evangeline Lilly was furious because she agreed to the role based on there not being a love interest. Then she was called back for reshoots to introduce a love triangle. What could I use for an substitute for XPS foam? What do you want to do with it? Compare the amount of pages from The Hobbit to The Lord of the Rings, but both gave 3 movies. I know that. We're all going to get wound up on this, aren't we? Oh, it was padded with content from the books like the Silmarillion. Yeah, there was what you call it. I mean, the Necromancer stuff as well. That was definitely from the Silmarillion. Peter Jackson took a few liberties. So fair few liberties, fair few liberties. It's not just a film and just a series of books. It isn't. The Hobbit is the Lord of the Rings trilogy reshot with different actors. Any scenic websites I can get rock molds from? Woodland Scenics, or make your own from tinfoil. There's a video from that in the Hills, Rocks and Cliffs playlist. Took a few liberties as an understatement. I think the Necromancer is mentioned in the book. Yeah, but it's described far more in the Silmarillion, isn't it? Have you got any built any terrain on Middle Earth? Not yet. I've done a lot of grassland and that sort of stuff that you could use, but I've not done any Lord of the Rings specific. I tend to keep away from IPs. Oh, Mel hasn't had any food for a while. I'm feeling... Right, we have spent the last 10 minutes just talking about Lord of the Rings. Tell you what, folks, I will see you Sunday night. Yeah, I've got a hell of a weekend ahead of me, no doubt. Busy. Keep an eye on Facebook. I'll start posting photos, and there's more stuff coming as I'm getting back in the studio and that sort of stuff, and we're moving into the next section of the book. Fill the screens with hell yes. Okay, and I'll see you Sunday night, yeah? All the best. Ta-ra.